my shield, my masquerading self, did not do its job at protecting me. Micheal A. Singer gives this wonderful example of exactly that. He talks about how one day he was in high school and there was this kid that he knew that was very shy, very afraid of everything, very nervous. And they met each other again some years later. And this guy was just completely different. He was bold and brave and confident, and it was like a brand new person. Who is this person? It's just very different from the person that he once knew. And they agreed to meet in a park a day or two later. And as Micheal approaches the guy, he's surrounded by these huge bodyguards. All he sees are these big bodyguards, big muscles, tall. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. Scary looking guys. And from the center of the circle is this little voice. I'm here, Micheal, I'm here, here I am. I'm not afraid anymore, here I am. And I guess the idea behind that is that the same little scared guy is still there. He's just surrounded by things that make him feel more confident now. He's surrounded by things that make him feel more secure. In other words, he has more control over his life and his environment. And it makes him feel more secure in life. It makes him feel like just safer. It makes him feel safer. But it's fake, it's false, it's not real. Because if one of those guys goes away or something happens, for example, those guys may represent your marriage going the way that you expected. Everything it's working, or it's running smoothly. Your job running smoothly. Everything is working the way you expect it to. The lives of your children, your family relationships, your living circumstances, whatever it is in your life that you feel that you have control over or that you need to have control over, those are the bodyguards that are standing around you. And the minute one of them falls, suddenly you're left vulnerable. You're left open to anything else happening, because now there's a gap. Imagine they all fall and then your world falls apart. That's how your world falls apart. That's how suddenly you don't know how to deal with life anymore. You don't know how to be okay, because you don't have these things that are protecting you, these things that are giving you this fake sense of security. And that's, I guess, what happens to most of us and what happened to me. Everything I thought I had control over suddenly wasn't there anymore. It all fell apart. And what was left was this scared little girl who was trying to pull the pieces back together, and they just were not coming back together. And basically for me, what that did was force me to face myself, force me to see myself, force me to get to know the person who was behind all of those masquerading selves. And I guess that's what's made this journey so incredibly special and so life-changing and so powerful, is because I wasn't aware that there were all these masquerading selves, not to the degree that I'm aware of it now. And the awareness allows me the opportunity to basically peel those layers of the onion away, to get to the core, and the knowledge that I am the core. I am not everything else that comes along with it. Yes, everything else is a part of me, but I am not that. I am not Simone. I am not this body. I am not my apartment. I'm not my dogs. I am the awareness behind all of these things. And all of these things are a part of me. I am not a part of them, if that makes sense. Powerful for me because for the first time, there's this sense of not getting wrapped up in what previously would have caught my attention, or what previously would have disturbed me, let's say. Something happens at work and I am frustrated for a full day or two because things are not happening the way I expect them to. I'm upset because something happened in one of my friendships and it didn't happen the way I expected it to. I'm upset because my brother or my mother said something that was extremely insensitive. How dare they? How dare they think those thoughts? How dare anybody do anything that makes me uncomfortable? How dare anybody put me in a situation where I have to or where one of my masquerading selves has to step down? How dare anybody? And the more you kind of realize how ridiculous we are in our expectations of life and our expectations of the people around us and of ourselves, the easier it gets to release those expectations, the easier life gets. The more joy you find, the less your peace is disturbed. And even when your peace is disturbed, you acknowledge why it's being disturbed. It's no longer this unconscious walking around with no idea as to why you do certain things or why certain things disturb you in your life, or even that they disturb you. Even just being able to find the word to understand that you are currently uncomfortable with something. You know, no, it's not about the other person. It's always about you. It's always about you. It's not about your boyfriend being grumpy and you had a wonderful dinner planned for the two of you, but he had a crappy day and he's not being considerate of the fact that you put all this effort into making this special evening and now your day is ruined. You know, so much power is given to those around us and to situations around us. And when we lose that power, we lose that control, it's so incredibly uncomfortable. And I guess me stepping behind my ego made me aware of this, made me aware of how much power I give to the scenarios that happen outside of my, or that happen around me, that affect me, and just how to not be as affected anymore. It's a really, really wonderful lesson to have learned. And I honestly, there's this saying that I came across, maybe on Instagram, can't remember where, but it went something along the lines of, I don't wish you bad, or I don't wish harm on you, I wish you consciousness. And I have never heard a truer word. Now that I am more conscious, aware of myself and the layers of myself and how to separate myself, and the fact that I can, I wish everybody consciousness. I wish everybody who's ever hurt me consciousness. I wish just everybody consciousness. Life is so much better behind your ego. Life is so much easier behind your ego. Life is so much more beautiful behind your ego. And I wish for everybody to learn this and experience this. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one, I guess.